Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of The Wrecking Trade, the podcast that dives headfirst into issues impacting men and provides a platform for open dialogue and understanding. I'm your host, Robert Lynch. Together, we're on a mission to paint a clear picture of what healthy masculinity looks like in today's changing world. And today we have a great show, we have a great guest. And we're going to have a really great conversation. But before we go, let me just remind you of my book. Let me just say thank you to those of you who picked up the offer and offered great feedback. The feedback was really awesome, really appreciated. And it's an opportunity for me to do a revision for the book based on some of the feedback that you got. And I've been working really hard, a nice new cover design and everything. So that's really coming out soon. So you can still check this one out on Amazon. It's super awesome. Right? Also, the conversations that we do have here, we do break them down online into smaller bite-sized pieces that you can find on my blog, which is robertnflynch.com. So without any further ado, before that, again, the network keeps expanding. I'm looking at the numbers, and right now we're at 2,300 and about 36 subscribers, with the numbers continuing to grow. And we've also added our broadcast on channel 33 of Logic. That's Cayman Lifestyle TV. So props to April for helping us to get that sorted. That's April Cummings. Thank you very much. We're into your homes, into your hotels, rooms, wherever you get your content, so you can be sitting in bed and just enjoying the great content. Feel free to participate. Jump on the YouTube. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and leave us a comment. If you like the content that we're sharing, or if you don't like, let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what we're thinking so that we can share, have a conversation, because that's what the platform is for. Having conversations so that we can keep working through what impacts us as men and women, because it doesn't work one or the other. It works with us together. So, without any further ado, let me just bring in our guest. Where's this thing? All right, we have an awesome guest. Who are you? So 5 questions for you to begin with. Your name, your age, your relationship status, what do you do for work, and the highest education level completed. Remember that?
Yeah, I think I got it. So my name is Genesis Ryan. I am 24 years old. I'm married. I am a corporate assistant, and I assist with board support. And what was the last question?
Highest education level completed.
I have an associate in hospitality management.
All right. Awesome. Appreciate you sharing that. And a couple questions that we like to ask at the beginning. What is your definition of masculinity and femininity?
So, it's really interesting when you ask me these questions. Masculinity and femininity to me means these attributes that females and males have that make them a male or make them a female. For example, I would say for a male, one of the attributes would be leading with confidence in a humble way, like God created us to be. And for a woman, it would be, or I am the type of woman to be observing and providing feedback in a gentle manner, I would say.
All right, awesome. And just to do some quick
I can't hear you.
All right, thank you. Just to do some quick housekeeping. If you can hear me on the stream, if we're echoing, just give me a heads up. Let me know what's going on. Let me know what you're experiencing on your side. I want to make sure that you're having the best experience as we're going through this conversation. All right, so just hit me up on the chat. Let me know what's going on. Thank you for that. So masculinity and femininity for you, there's a clear divide, yes or no?
I mean, yes, of course. I'm a person of God, and I always look to the Bible for answers. And like the beginning says, God created the man and to lead, and created the woman to assist and help, and that's definitely how I see myself, or I'm growing to be
Awesome, awesome,
into this
awesome.
person,
So you're
Yeah.
growing to be that person. You said
Yeah.
you are in the church and you also recently got married. So I'm
Yeah.
imagining that's a path, that's a journey. How would you describe yourself, or when did you start on this path, on this journey?
So, I mean, I've always been a Christian since a young age. My parents raised me in church. So I've always known of God, and I've always looked to God for guidance in everything that I do. I have had times where I've had a bit of doubt, or I've distanced myself from God. But as of recently, I actually got baptized, and I'm going to church, and have a church family that they're very special to me, and I have a lot of their support, and it definitely helps me to keep on that path. I think having that family support or that church support definitely helps you, to get closer to God, and to pull you in whenever you feel like you are slipping away. I've had my instances where when I first started going back, I really felt down. I really felt like I couldn't go. And of course, I had my best friend call me and say, these are the times that this you have to show up, and you have to be there, and you're going to see that the reason why you were feeling this way is because the devil wanted to keep you away from what was going to happen today at church. So ever since then, I, like, every time I feel down or whatever, I always try to go for God for guidance, and of course always try to go to church and just be in his presence and ask him for the guidance and the wisdom. And in terms of a marriage, as a
Yes.
young
Has the
age,
man always been the leader in your mind? Have you always followed his lead?
so it's actually pretty interesting because I grew up in a very interesting home. My mom and my dad, I've always seen them together. My dad has always been the provider financially, so he always made sure that my mom, my sister, and I always had everything that we needed at our disposal, and I'm so grateful and thankful for that. And then my mom was always supportive in the aspect that she would take care of the house and make sure that my sister and I were up to date with our meals and stuff like that. She was more of a home take. She would
Homemaker.
take care of,
Yes.
yeah, homemaker, take care of the home, yeah. But in certain aspects, you could see her nature come out, and she would drive the home a little bit more, and be the more influential person in the household. So I always grew up seeing that, and when I first got married, it was like that. I wanted to lead. I wanted to be the one that called the shots. But as of recently, I've been getting closer to God and really trying my best to let my husband take the lead. And whenever there are certain situations where I feel like I really want to be the one to take control, I just, in my mind, I ask God, God, please give me the wisdom, please give me the strength that I need, and let it go. I
Okay.
let it go because there's just certain things that it's not worth fighting and arguing about. So it's best to just let it go, and in time, or if you give it a little bit of space, you're going to come back. You're going to notice, and you're going to come back, and the issue will be resolved once both of the parties talk. But definitely.
That's interesting to me. I'm wondering at what has brought you to this place to make that decision to go, what? I saw my mother leading out in some places, but I also saw the setting of her being the homemaker, and I appreciated those things. But here you're making a conscious decision to step back and not try to take the reins and try to lead. What's brought you there?
Um, so my best friend and I have been having, I don't know, it's just so weird because recently she's been bringing it a lot to me, to my attention. And every time we sit down, she always says to me, this is not how life is supposed to be. She tells me, like, the Bible says that women are supposed to be at home taking care of the family, and male, the man, should be out there providing for their family. So it kind of like has started to resonate within me, and it has definitely helped me to like take a step back and then just realize, like sometimes it's okay to just let go and let things be, and let him take control, because there's some things that maybe he's much better at dealing with than I am. I know that, like, as women, or as myself, I can get a little bit more emotional, whereas he is a little bit level-headed, and he will see things differently. So I always go to him, and I always, when I'm having like a difficult time, or a difficult situation has arise, like I'm really, what's the word? I'm really emotional. So I go to him because I know that he will try his best to give me the best solid advice that he can, but it's very neutral. So it makes me feel like, okay, all right, let's just take a step back, and let's see how we can approach the situation differently.
Interesting. You said he gives you the best advice that he can, but he
Mm-hmm.
remains neutral. Help me to understand that a little bit more.
So, like, he would try to understand me, or he tries to understand me, and then
So he's not telling you what to do. He is
yeah,
giving you
no.
advice and then allowing you to make your own decisions, and so you feel heard in the situation.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's very interesting because I would go and I would vent and I would tell him this is how I feel, like all emotional, and he's like, okay, well, the first question that he always asks me is, what would you like me to do? That's always the first question that he asks me. But like in the moment, like obviously I don't know. Like I really don't know. I always tell him, like, um I I want you to hear me first, and then like let's see how you can help me. So he does that. He listens to me, and then hears the story, and like sees, because he knows the type of person that I can be,
Mm-hmm.
and he knows that sometimes there's things that are just not really like deep, but because of the way that I am, and it's something that I'm currently working on, because there's I'm a very, like, I don't want to say soft person, but I'm very, like, I take everything to heart in a sense. Yes, and he's the opposite. He's not like that. So he would always tell me, like, maybe it's not that way, maybe it's not the way that you thought, like maybe let's look at it a different way. What about this way? So he's always like, and in the moment I don't see it.
Mm.
I don't see it because I am upset, I am emotional, so I give it time.
So someone
And
says
then,
something, it triggers your emotions, you get stuck in your feelings, and he kind of
yeah,
helps you to pull away from that and see other perspectives.
yeah, exactly.
All
And
right, go ahead.
I'm not gonna lie, there's instances where like it's very difficult for me to get out of that. And it takes him a minute, but like I must say, like I'm really thankful, because if if I don't have that, like, other person, like, or my half not giving me, or being honest
Uh-huh.
and genuine about, okay, well, you know what, you actually messed up in this way, there's another way that things could have been handled, I would be in this loop of I know it all. And that's, I definitely don't want to live that way, I want to be held accountable when I mess up. And that's what he does.
Got you. So, but he's also patient with you. I'm getting it. You said it takes him a minute, so he has to
Yeah,
work with you to work through
yeah,
the emotions. But you
yeah,
are receptive to it. You're open to it. You appreciate
yeah,
it. All right.
yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Today we're going to be talking about boundaries and boundary setting, and when is
Okay.
that appropriate or is that okay for men? And we have a couple of things that we're going to be looking at right after this break. Welcome to The Wrecking Trade, this and every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m., the radio show that provides a platform for a deeper understanding of issues affecting men in the Cayman Islands. Join us as we explore the low enrollment of men and boys in college classrooms, the absence of men in the church, and the absence of fathers in the home. Join the conversation as we help men find their place in the modern world. Through engaging interviews with experts and members of the community, we provide a clear picture of what healthy masculinity looks like as an example for boys and girls. Our mission is to provide a voice for men, to help them navigate the challenges that they face and provide hope for a brighter future. So tune in this and every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. and join the conversation on The Wrecking Trade. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of men and boys in the Cayman Islands. Brought to you by Oscore Fitness, strong inside, powerful outside, and the Bellagio Salon and Spa, where beauty is reimagined. Welcome to The Wrecking Trade, this and every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m., the radio show that provides a platform for a deeper understanding of issues affecting men in the Cayman Islands. Join us as we explore the low enrollment of men and boys in college classrooms, the absence of men in the church, and the absence of fathers in the home. Join the conversation as we help men find their place in the modern world. Through engaging interviews with experts and members of the community, we provide a clear picture of what healthy masculinity looks like as an example for boys and girls. Our mission is to provide a voice for men, to help them navigate the challenges that they face and provide hope for a brighter future. So tune in this and every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. and join the conversation on The Wrecking Trade. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of men and boys in the Cayman Islands. Brought to you by Oscore Fitness, strong inside, powerful outside, and the Bellagio Salon and Spa, where beauty is reimagined. Welcome back to The Wrecking Trade. I'm your host, Robert Lynch. I trust you can still hear me. And we're having a great conversation with my guest, Genesis Ryan. And what we're trying to do, or we're having a conversation today about boundaries. And there's been some things in the news recently. Two pieces that we're going to be looking at. It's two things that we're going to be looking at. And it's two things that's been in the news. A situation with Jonah Hill and then Keke Palmer. Let me bring Genesis in. Genesis, where are you? Joint. Genesis, can you hear me? Genesis, can you hear me? No, I seem to have stopped hearing me. Let me fix this. Okay, just trying out some new gear today, making sure everything works. We tested it, worked perfectly. I'm getting some feedback. Where is microphone? Here. Genesis, can you still hear me? 1, 2, 3. All right, let me bring this one up. And let's fix this. Here we are. Testing 1, 2. Genesis, can you still hear me? No, we have gone. All right, let me play this video real quick. Welcome to The Wrecking Trade, this and every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m., the radio show that provides a platform for a deeper understanding of issues affecting men in the Cayman Islands. Join us as we explore the low enrollment of men and boys in college classrooms, the absence of men in the church, and the absence of fathers in the home. Join the conversation as we help men find their place in the modern world. Through engaging interviews with experts and members of the community, we provide a clear picture of what healthy masculinity looks like as an example for boys and girls. Our mission is to provide a voice for men, to help them navigate the challenges that they face and provide hope for a brighter future. So tune in this and every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. and join the conversation on The Wrecking Trade. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of men and boys in the Cayman Islands. Brought to you by Oscore Fitness, strong inside, powerful outside, and the Bellagio Salon and Spa, where beauty is reimagined. Welcome to The Wrecking Trade, this and every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m., the radio show that provides a platform for a deeper understanding of issues affecting men in the Cayman Islands. Join us as we explore the low enrollment of men and boys in college classrooms, the absence of men in the church, and the absence of fathers in the home. Join the conversation as we help men find their place in the modern world. Through engaging interviews with experts and members of the community, we provide a clear picture of what healthy masculinity looks like as an example for boys and girls. Our mission is to provide a voice for men, to help them navigate the challenges that they face and provide hope for a brighter future. So tune in this and every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. and join the conversation on The Wrecking Trade. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of men and boys in the Cayman Islands. Brought to you by Oscore Fitness, strong inside, powerful outside, and the Bellagio Salon and Spa, where beauty is reimagined. Welcome to The Wrecking Trade, this and every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m., the radio show that provides a platform for a deeper understanding of issues affecting men in the Cayman Islands. Join us as we explore the low enrollment of men and boys in college classrooms, the absence of men in the church, and the absence of fathers in the home. Join the conversation as we help men find their place in the modern world. Through engaging interviews with experts and members of the community, we provide a clear picture of what healthy masculinity looks like as an example for boys and girls. Our mission is to provide a voice for men, to help them navigate the challenges that they face and provide hope for a brighter future. So tune in this and every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. and join the conversation on The Wrecking Trade. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of men and boys in the Cayman Islands. Brought to you by Oscore Fitness, strong inside, powerful outside, and the Bellagio Salon and Spa, where beauty is reimagined. All right, you are now live. Let me see, Genesis. Can you hear me? I'm not hearing you though. Wait, let me come over here. Can go ahead, say something. All right, the audio has I've done something crazy, and now the audio is not working the way it should be working. Output, audio output, audio settings. Where's your audio? All right. Technical issues abound when you decide to change something right in the middle of a show. So, all right, let me testing 1 2 3 testing. Control. Genesis is still here. Copy solo link. Unmute. All right, go ahead and say something.
Hello?
There you are. We've gotten audio back. Conversation
Hello.
was so great. It was just getting cut off. Not sure why that was, but let's get right back into it. So the first part of the conversation, or the first thing that we're going to look at is, what do you think? Do you think it's oh, you know what? Let me just go right to the Keke Palmer story. Where are you familiar with the story here?
I've been seeing it a lot on social media. It's the one where she was wearing an outfit that was a bit inappropriate. I'm not sure if it's her boyfriend or her fiance commented something on it on social media.
Yes. All right, yeah. So let's look at that for a second. So we have on the screen, she's wearing this outfit. It's a see-through outfit. She decides to go out, and then, of course, what happens? that, and he says something out in public. Leaving that aside, do you think it's okay for? How would you feel if the situation were reversed there?
Ooh.
You're at home and you're watching your husband on stage gyrating with Beyonce. Let's go all out. It's Beyonce.
Yeah. Um, the way that maybe I would approach things, definitely not take it to social media.
And before
Um,
we get to the approach, we're just talking about the feelings and the emotions here. What do you
oh, the
feel?
feelings.
Yes. Are you okay with that?
No, I would definitely feel uncomfortable and disrespected.
Mm, that's a
Yeah,
powerful
I
word there.
mean,
Why would you feel disrespected? Isn't it his own body? He can do whatever he wants with it.
well, I recently learned that once you're married, you become one.
Mm.
So, I mean, I would feel very like disrespected because, like this is my husband, this is the person that I share a life with, share personal details and all of this information, and I know his body in a sense,
Uh huh.
and like I definitely wouldn't want another woman to be touching him or he be doing um, that type of um, those type of things with another woman publicly or privately. So definitely I would see it as disrespect for me in my eyes.
Okay, so let's explore that. So some persons believe or have said that his discomfort with it is an indication of one, his insecurity and him being controlling. You think he's trying to control? Would in your case, would you be trying to control him right there?
No, I mean it comes to like this is your person, like
Your
this
person?
is
Are you saying you own
not
him?
not
No, I'm just teasing.
no
I'm
not
teasing. When you're married, you're one,
not
so it is your person, right?
yeah, exactly, yeah. And like it's God made this covenant between you and your husband or you and your partner for you to share this intimate part of your life, and you feel like that intimate part of your life is being exposed to the
Mm.
world, and it's definitely gonna make, for me personally, it's gonna make things very uncomfortable. And not only that, but it's like family and friends are seeing all of this,
Mm.
and it's like you're definitely gonna get the comments from everyone, and oh, how can you allow this to happen? And it's so much, so it shouldn't be like that. It should be uh an understanding where like you know my boundaries, I know your boundaries, this is unacceptable to me. Why would you do it, like after a discussion was had, or like you know what like my limits are, like it it's 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 seen as disrespectful,
So I'm getting
and
two
I would
things.
see it like that.
Fair enough. I'm getting two things from what you're saying. One, boundaries, and you're saying as a couple, because many times persons hear the word boundaries. You can't put boundaries on me. You're not my mother. You're not my father. But here you're saying what I'm getting you saying is it's okay for
Hmm.
men and women to establish boundaries of what is acceptable in their relationship as they
Yeah,
connect with each other.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I believe, like it's in my opinion, you're not gonna always know 100% the past of your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible. You're not gonna know every single detail that your spouse, or every single trauma that your spouse has gone through, and it's always advisable to have discussions, um, you know, counseling sessions prior to getting married, so that or like joining with this person that like, okay, because of my past traumas, there's these certain things that I um, don't accept, and putting those boundaries so that like, okay, well, I know my wife has gone through this type of situation. let's say in her past relationship where she felt that her, let's say her boyfriend at the time was publicly doing these things in decency, and like humiliating, disrespecting her.
Okay.
And because I know that she has gone through that in the past,
You
of
try to
course I'm
manage
not
that.
gonna, yeah, exactly. Of course I'm not gonna put her through that. So that's why it's very, very important to set these boundaries so that like it's not, they're not crossed, and like the conflict doesn't
Bring
arise.
unnecessary stress into the marriage. I'm wondering if it's okay
Yeah.
to also have boundaries even outside of trauma. For instance, let's take a moment to let's check out the dress. I think what she's wearing. Is it
Mhm.
okay for you to post, say, I mean, you're married, for you to post naked pictures, not naked pictures, or scantily clad clothes online
Mhm.
on Instagram? Is that okay? Is that a boundary that is okay for the man to go, hey, now that we're together, I'm not okay with this. Why? Because like you said,
Mhm.
this thing that is us is now
Mhm.
ours, and I'm not okay with
Mhm.
other persons looking
Mhm.
at what is mine. Is it okay for him to say that?
I mean, in my opinion, yes, I do believe, like as a Christian, our bodies are a temple. Um, Posting pictures out there, like once you post something, it's it's out there. You're never gonna get these pictures back.
Mm-hmm.
As hard and as much as you try, you're never gonna get these pictures back. And once they're there, you don't know what's being done with these pictures. So it's it's better to be cautious and you know have that respect where you feel like, okay, you know what, this is my body. Now that I'm married, it's our body. um this is private. My body is private, and let me keep it between me and my husband. And I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was single, I used to post pictures in bathing suits and on my Instagram because I thought I looked, good, and in a sense, like, try to, I think the way that it's done is post these pictures out there to grab the attention
Mm-hmm.
of, possible, um,
Suitors.
yeah, exactly. But like when you're married, it's very different. It's a different perception, and you have to, like, as a married woman, as a Christian married
Mm-hmm.
woman, you have to take care of your body, and you have to, like, make sure that everything that is posted is is done in such a way that it's not taking your body, and it's they're going to be used in a negative way,
Mm-hmm.
because nowadays in social media, everything flies like there's no
Speed of
tomorrow.
light around the world, right? So I'm hearing you.
Exactly.
I'm hearing you say that, hey, as a single person or posting your body online, showing off, those pictures, it is kind of attention-seeking behavior, right? And so,
Mhm. Mhm.
you enjoy the attention, you enjoy the adoration of the person who go, hey, look at her, she's awesome, and that may even lead to a suitor reaching out to you and going, hey, I appreciate. Can we have go out on a date?
Mhm.
So when you get married, though, what
Mhm.
about those persons who go, well, I just do it because I look nice, I'm married, I mean, why does he want to control me? Why are you
Mhm.
still looking for attention as a married person or
Mhm.
a person in a relationship?
Yeah, I mean, like, your attention, or the attention that I think, in my opinion, that I would want to be getting is my husband's.
Mm,
And of course, like, if and he is, whenever we're at the beach, or whenever we're, um
together.
you know together, or in that scenic area, like, I'm always, hey babe, can you take a picture of me? And it's always like, oh, what do you think? And it's this very nice, innocent
Mm-hmm.
time that time and pictures that I'm sharing with him. It doesn't go past him and I. So it's something that you have to like keep very private because it's
So
it's a found it's a foundation. It's a foundation to your marriage, and like it once you start breaking these things and start so much so doing things that are not, you know, that seem suspicious, there's going to be things are going to be happening in your head, and you're going to start overthinking, and then it's going to cause conflict.
So you're dressing up, you're making yourself look good, you're doing these things, and you're doing it for him to make sure that you maintain and keep his attention. But then when you start posting those on Instagram, I mean, he's right there in the house with you. He doesn't need to go online
Mm-hmm.
to see you. I mean, it's
No.
the circle of attention seeking seems to be expanding and may become
Yeah.
problematic.
Yeah, exactly. Because like I said, like someone sees these pictures and then they see him on the road. Oh, I know how your wife looks. I know what
Mm.
she has on the right side of this and that. That's an issue. That's a real issue. You
So,
don't, at the time, you might not think about it, but who knows how your husband's going to react to that? You know, when another man comments on, you know, what scar or what birthmark you have wherever, you know, it's very uncomfortable, especially in public.
uh-huh.
It's very uncomfortable to have somebody else comment these things that are so
Private and personal.
personal.
Mm.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's interesting that you say that, and I appreciate you saying that. I'm wondering at what your thoughts are, or what would you say to the persons who go, why should he care about that? He knows I'm with him at the end of the day or whatever, and she shouldn't be insecure like that. What would you say to those persons?
I mean, like, to be honest with you, I've always been like a big believer in sitting down with my husband and like reassuring each other,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Like whenever I have not doubts, but like whenever I have questions, whenever he has questions, we've made it a habit and a good habit to come to each other and you know and say, babe, you know, I had this situation happen, or and I don't I'm doubting it a little bit. Um and that's where like I feel like I step in and I say, you know what? Immediately clarify the situation and give him reassurance, or he
Mm-hmm.
gives me reassurance, because
Mm.
it's horrible being in a relationship where you feel like, oh well, you should know that I what's the what how is it that they put it, well, you shouldn't feel that way,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like you shouldn't have those feelings, but that's not fair for you to say that, because we're all humans and we
Mm.
all have feelings. But to sit down and address the issue and have it resolve it and give that reassurance that, you know what, okay, you're feeling this way, I completely understand, and I'm taking your feelings into consideration, and just know that nothing is going on, and like, you know, we are one. We are one at the end of the day. Yeah.
It's interesting that you framed it that way, because my mind is drawn back to what you were saying earlier in the conversation, where you may be having a problem with a coworker or a friend at work, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they've said something that's triggered you, and you're stuck in your feelings, and he doesn't attack you and go, you shouldn't have those feelings. He works through your feelings and appreciates them, and
Mm-hmm.
then helps you to see another perspective. And I'm sure listeners, maybe women, were thinking, oh, that's such a great man, he is able to work through you. But then the same person might turn around and go, well, he shouldn't feel that way, that's insecure, and then minimizing the feelings that he's having there. So I appreciated you
Exactly.
saying that, right?
Yeah.
I'm wondering here if what you're saying then is it's okay for a person to establish boundaries and to be able to share those boundaries and talk through them, and then when someone shares those boundaries, the goal is not to minimize or to reduce it.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to provide the reassurance as necessary.
Yeah.
because that's the person that you've chosen to walk through life with, whether you're in a
Yeah.
relationship or whether you're just in a marriage. All
Mm-hmm.
right, awesome. So here, for the next thing I'm going to look at is some Jonah Hill. He decided, or he
Mm-hmm.
tried to do the same thing, and it's an interesting
Mm-hmm.
juxtaposition because you said when you were single, this is what you used to do, right? And but
Mm-hmm.
when you got married, you decided to take a an active stance to manage that because you wanted to respect your husband and provide him with reassurance to make sure that he knew that
Yeah.
you were walking through life together. All right. So where's this thing, Jonah Hill?
And not to
Go
cut
ahead.
you off, but there's just a part like this is all part of like boundaries of traumas before,
Uh huh.
like okay, like you have expressed to me your past traumas. I know that these things are a trigger.
Uh huh.
Okay, why am I gonna do them to hurt you? Why
Mm.
am I gonna continue to hold on to the old person that I was? And it's interesting because I remember the pastor saying to me, or not to me, but to the congregation one time that like you are not the same person that you
Mm.
married. You're not.
You married a single person, and now you're a married person.
Yeah, and you have your perception, your
Mm-hmm.
perspective has changed completely,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not the same person.
Interesting.
So,
Interesting.
mhm,
And I appreciated something that you said also in that it's not just the trauma, but also managing the perception of your partner in public. Because, as you said,
mhm,
if your husband is working on a construction site or doing some work, and then there's a bunch of men who are just pointing at him and laughing, I know where all your parts, your person's parts are, then that's going to
mhm,
also cause emotional harm or damage. And it doesn't
yeah,
necessarily have to come from trauma, but here it is, you're in a situation where something that your partner is doing is currently
mhm,
causing you harm.
yeah,
So why
mhm,
would you make the decision to do that? So all right, great. Thank you for sharing that. So here we have Jonah. Let me just. All right, now let me see if I can move this over here. There we are between the two of us. All right. So we have Jonah Hill here, and on in this conversation, or for some reason, they broke up, and she decided to put the whole conversation online, put the whole business on the street and whatnot. And so now
mhm,
it becomes property of the entire world. What's property? So he's trying to
mm,
establish some boundaries in their relationship, and he's trying to say
yeah,
to her, okay, guess what? For us, sure, these are things that you used to do, as you said, as a single person.
mhm,
But for us to have the kind of relationship that we want, is that the right one? There we go. The kind of relationship that we want to be able to celebrate on together.
mhm,
Here he says in plain text, if you need surfing with men, boundaryless and inappropriate friendship with men, inappropriate modeling or posting pictures in bathing suits to post sexual pictures online, that's it is unstable places from your wild recent past beyond getting lunch or coffee with someone. He's saying that going out with, what do you think about keeping up with ex-boyfriends or going out with ex-boyfriends when you're just, I mean, just to hang out when you're as a married woman.
I think I think that it's unappropriate. For me, it would be it's very interesting because I've had this discussion with my husband. My husband has had this discussion with me,
Uh-huh.
and it's very it's very inappropriate. There's certain things that this person or this ex knows about you, and like you don't know what how life might turn out. You
Uh-huh.
don't know if this person still has feelings towards you. You don't know um, the true intentions of your ex, and it's when you're married and your ex comes in and he might not or she might not be potentially over you, there's always going to be that thing in the back of their mind that they're going to try. They're going to try and maybe possibly win you back. And um, you're definitely gonna see that. Like your husband's gonna see that, your wife is gonna see that, and it's gonna create conflict. So like I'm a firm believer, that like if it's in the past, it's in the past. It doesn't come back.
All right, all right. So definitely, what about hanging out or going out with other men? Having private
Yeah,
dinners. You and some guy at your job going out for dinner.
yeah, that's another thing too. That definitely I would see as inappropriate. At the end of the day, this person, I don't know what their
Mm-hmm.
true intentions are. Um, if it's like a group situation where
Mm-hmm.
it's my husband and like a group of people, not just me and this person, then by all means, yeah, let's have a team lunch or team
Mm-hmm.
dinner. But like individually, like no, that's definitely not appropriate in my eyes. Because like at the end of the day, you know what your intentions are,
Uh-huh.
but you don't know what the other person's intentions are,
Mm.
and you don't want your partner to be thinking, well, I wonder what's going on, You don't want that suspicion and you don't want those thoughts because once those thoughts come in, like they cause conflict. And that's just going to be reoccurring, and doubts are going to be in your head or in the person's head. And it's going to be a huge conflict. So definitely for me, no, no dinner with no guys or anything like that.
There we
No
go.
friends, no
And of
guy
course,
friends.
clearly, we're not talking about those going. Hey, no private dinners. Some of your single friends might go. But hey, why does your husband need to be insecure? Isn't he just a friend from work?
But it's not really about insecurity though. It's about like again to my point of we're one. Like
Yes.
you don't want to be sharing your one with
Hmm.
a single person, especially if it's a male. Like you don't want to be doing that. That's your person. Like and the thing is that the devil,
Uh huh.
he tries to get in there and work his little magic, So it's better not to go down that path and stay with your husband in the sense of like that's your person, that's your other half. You are one. Don't cross lines that
Mm-hmm.
that the devil would use and
Yeah.
potentially lead somewhere that should not have led in the first place.
Awesome. I appreciate you saying that. And what I'm hearing you saying is that talking about and setting boundaries is equivalent to setting guardrails around your relationship so that you can avoid those thoughts, feelings of not necessarily being comfortable, and two, also making sure that you're protecting the sanctity of your marriage because sometimes
Exactly.
you may be in one headspace, but then something happens and then things start sneaking in and
Exactly.
problems start sneaking in, and before you know, you have discord.
Mm-hmm.
So someone
We.
respecting.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
So yeah, we're not perfect. We're not human. I mean, we're
Oh,
not. We are
we are
humans,
hopefully right.
but we're not
We're
perfect.
not robots.
I cannot say to you that I'm never ever ever in my life from this day going forward that I'm never gonna sin. That's
Uh
a
huh.
lie. That will be me there sinning. So it's like to avoid these situations,
Hmm.
just don't go down the road.
So
Yeah.
if you don't want the potential of going, drinking in a bar, then it might be safe to just not go to the bar.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough.
Because
Fair enough.
the devil is lingering to find to try and find how he can get into your head, into your marriage,
Mm-hmm.
into your relationship. And if you take that first step, thinking, you know what, no, it's not gonna, it's nothing's gonna happen to me. Like I'm on this path, I'm with God, and nothing is gonna happen to me. Yeah, you're definitely with God. God has you covered, but at the end of the day, like the devil is still here. He
Uh
is
huh.
consistent. He's not something that's been made up, and like things are just gonna creep in there slowly. For
and
sure.
you don't want to be the one helping him to put things in there to go, you should not feel uncomfortable, just trust me, I'm gonna go out on this dinner, we're gonna hang out for a while, and who knows, maybe the car is gonna break down, whatever's gonna happen, and you should just feel okay with that, right? I haven't
Yeah.
called you back yet because we've been out, there's no phone service, and all this time you're having feelings, you're having emotional reactions, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just causing unnecessary problems even if nothing is happening.
Yep.
This is what
Exactly.
So what happens then if someone is going, you know what, I'm not going to respect your boundaries. I'm an independent individual and you should just trust me. What's happening there?
That's another conflict there. Like, you have to, if when you are in a relation, when you first get into a relationship with a person, there's like the pastor mentioned, you have to like get to know this person as well as you can. You know, set your boundaries, set your intentions, your
Yes.
morals. You know, and this is why it's very important that it's done at the beginning of the relationship, because once you're down that path or you're in the middle of the relationship and these start arising where, well,
It's
I
a
don't
little
care
bit
what you
harder to
think, you
manage.
know, like you're insecure, all of this. It's a very difficult situation. It's a very difficult time because you have invested so much time, so much energy. Like, you love this person, you know? And I think at that point, you would just have to really, 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 and try as best as you can, ask God for guidance and ask professional
Get
people
professional
for
help.
guidance.
Fair
Yeah.
enough, fair enough. Because you're right, asking the wrong people can lead you to the wrong result. And here, Jonah,
Exactly.
I thought his response was really awesome here, and so I even got confused as to why he's in cancellation mode. Because here it is,
Mm-hmm.
he's established these boundaries, and then he goes, I'm not the right partner for you if these things bring you happiness. If you still want to go post pictures of yourself, surfing and hanging out with other guys,
Yeah.
and that's what brings you happiness, that's okay. I
Yeah.
support that. And there are no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for a romantic partnership. So if we're going to get into a
Yeah.
relationship together, this is just my expectation. This is just what we think is going to help us to stay safe. And so he says,
Yeah.
my boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt or trust. So just like you said, it can cause trauma, it can cause unnecessary challenges,
Yeah.
it can bring about situations. But then why do you think so many persons are going, he's insecure, he's controlling, he's doing this, when this seems so logical, so rational, so reasonable? He's not even upset with her.
Yeah. I guess because, you know, like nowadays we are in a world that everyone has their own opinions and everyone goes with those opinions in a sense where, like, if it's what the media is doing, or if it's what the famous actors or whatever they're doing, that's okay. But when someone comes and tries to change it and says, you know what, this is my personal opinion, this is how I feel, you know, they change it to make it seem, or they put the narrative that they're controlling,
Uh-huh.
that they're insecure, because they can't accept the fact that, like, people have these standards, people have these boundaries, and it's okay. If you're not okay with them, well then that's fine. You can move along. But like, the world that we live now, it's so much where, like, you there isn't really set boundaries anymore, you know? Like, well, we have to be conscious of this and that. But in a sense, you're not being conscious.
It's
They're not respecting.
it's interesting that you're. How old are you again?
I'm 24.
And it's interesting that you're saying this because I mean we're living in a world where persons are going in the opposite direction of the things that you're saying here, and
Yeah.
persons
It,
are
it's
looking. What I'm hearing you saying is that as he's here trying to share these boundaries to establish safeguards for the married persons, then take that and make it into a personal attack to call him insecure,
Yeah.
to call him controlling, so that they can
Exactly.
discredit both him and the boundaries, to the effect
Exactly.
of what? To the effect that we have no guardrails for the relationship?
Exactly. And then it's crazy to me because it's being preached. It's being preached, but then when it happens, when action is taking place, oh, no, you're this, you're that. No, we don't accept it. There's no acceptance, you know? So it's kind of like it is hypocrisy there. Like
Those
that's
those are
the
strong
word.
words, Jen.
Yeah, I mean, because that's
It
the
is what
world
it
that
is,
we
right?
live in.
Yes. This
Yeah.
this is really great. This is a great conversation. We're going to jump off into even deeper waters when we come back right from this quick break. Welcome to The Wrecking Trade. This and every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. The radio show that provides a platform for a deeper understanding of issues affecting men in the Cayman Islands. Join us as we explore the low enrollment of men and boys in college classrooms, the absence of men in the church, and the absence of fathers in the home. Join the conversation as we help men find their place in the modern world. Through engaging interviews with experts and members of the community, we provide a clear picture of what healthy masculinity looks like as an example for boys and girls. Our mission is to provide a voice for men, to help them navigate the challenges that they face and provide hope for a brighter future. So tune in this and every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. and join the conversation on The Wrecking Trade. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of men and boys in the Cayman Islands. Brought to you by Oscore Fitness, strong inside, powerful outside, and the Bellagio Salon and Spa, where beauty is reimagined. Welcome to The Wrecking Trade, this and every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. The radio show that provides a platform for a deeper understanding of issues affecting men in the Cayman Islands. Join us as we explore the low enrollment of men and boys in college classrooms, the absence of men in the church, and the absence of fathers in the home. Join the conversation as we help men find their place in the modern world. Through engaging interviews with experts and members of the community, we provide a clear picture of what healthy masculinity looks like as an example for boys and girls. Our mission is to provide a voice for men, to help them navigate the challenges that they face and provide hope for a brighter future. So tune in this and every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. and join the conversation on The Wrecking Trade. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of men and boys in the Cayman Islands. Brought to you by Oscore Fitness, strong inside, powerful outside, and the Bellagio Salon and Spa, where beauty is reimagined. Okay, welcome back to The Wrecking Trade. We're having a really great conversation with Genesis Ryan, talking about is it okay to set boundaries and what boundaries actually do for relationships. We've been talking about the Keke Palmer situation as well as the Jonah Hill situation, and what we've come to is realizing that persons have gotten to a place where boundaries are seemingly not safe, they're not comfortable because they may challenge some things that we're already doing. I appreciated you saying earlier, Genesis, that you know what, when the things that we're doing that we used to do as single person, it's okay for us to be different persons now, because you are now not a single person anymore. You are a married person, or you're a couple, and as a couple, that should look different. As a single person, your primary goal is to protect yourself, to look out for yourself, to make sure that you have what you need. But as a married person, you now have the responsibility of managing the precious heart of the person that you're now partnered with, and not just their heart but also their image out in public, how other persons may see them, because the things that we do impact the persons who are close to us. They may bring them joy or they may bring them embarrassment, and just because that is the case and you are concerned about that, it doesn't make you insecure. It doesn't make you controlling. It just means that, hey, we are a couple and our job is to look out for each other to help us to be in a better space than we would be as individual. Yeah, Renee?
Yeah.
All right. I wanted to share this video, but we're still having a little bit of a challenge with the technology. So let me see if I can talk you through this, right? So what if so one of the things that we share as a new world is that men need to open up, men need to share their feelings, men need to, be more connected with their emotions, right? And
Yep.
my position is that sounds safe, that sounds great, that sounds wonderful, but I'm wondering if that is in practice really what is it really useful? And this is the example I usually share, right? You and your husband, you're laying in bed.
Yep.
You reach over to him, you hear some noise outside, maybe you hear some voices, whatever's going on. You reach over to him, you hug him, and you go, baby, I'm feeling scared, right? What does that do for him?
He's gonna definitely try and protect me
Yes,
or reassure me.
that activate. Let me turn this off, right? Because this is not working. Leave right there, so we're not going to do. You can still hear me, right? Yes.
Yep.
So you hug him. He feels you. He knows that he needs to protect you. So it activates his protective instincts. Even if he is scared, he now gets even more strength, and he's gonna go check out to see what's going on because he needs to make sure that you're safe. All right.
Yeah.
In the world, we're telling person that they need to open up and share their emotions. What if before you did that, he reached over to you, hugged you, and went, "Baby, I'm scared."
I probably would have laughed,
And so we're and I appreciate you saying that because here's the thought. While you saying that to him accomplished, a power up for him, him saying the same thing to you doesn't have the same effect. And that's reasonable because, right, as a couple, his job is to be the protector. If he's the one leaning over to you, he's kind of throwing that responsibility over to you. And so there's uncertainty. And so rightly so, you're going to be concerned about, okay, who's going to be protecting us? Because I don't have the muscles. He's stronger than me. He's supposed to be the protector, right?
Yeah.
So when we think about it from that context in that situation, then it's not exactly always safe, reasonable, or even effective for him to share the emotions that he's having because they may be counterproductive to the relationship.
Yeah.
And I mean, it sounds weird. Many persons are saying, no, you shouldn't say that. We should be able to share equally and effectively. And so it should be 50-50. But my position is it's never, ever going to be 50-50 in any kind of relationship, right? Because I can't take 50% of the birthing process from you.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to carry that baby for 9 months. I can't say, okay, I'm going to do the first 4.5 months and then you can do the back half. So it's never going to be 50-50. You're going to have to shoulder that weight 100%. I can be supportive. I can be encouraging. I can get you pillows. I can get you drinks, but I can never take on any of that experience for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing that goes along with that is that when you're pregnant, and I mean, these things used to be very clear way back when I guess the world was less advanced, but when you are pregnant and unable to go and fend for yourself, unable to fight off tigers, unable to work so that you can make sure the baby is okay, it would be ridiculous for me to go, well, I think you need to get up and go pick those berries because I got 5 berries, you need to get your 5 to make sure that we're equal and 50-50. See, you laugh again, right? But that's where 50-50 takes you, though. That's where 50-50, whatever you do, true. I need to be able to match that equally to have 50-50. But clearly that doesn't make any sense because, or let me not say, what do you think?
Well, it almost feels like I'm just, if it's 50-50, it's like, it feels like it's not really a marriage. It almost feels like a roommate type of thing.
So you're just a roommate situation when you're supposed to be married. When do you see 50-50? You know what? We've put this 50-50 thought in relationships. Do you see this 50-50 concept working anywhere else?
Can you say that again?
Do you see this 50-50 concept working anywhere else? I look at your office. Does everybody in the office do all the same things to make sure they're equally matched and making sure everyone is...
No. No.
I
I
imagine.
mean,
Go ahead.
some people some people do more and some people do less. And wherever less is done, the person that does more comes together to meet the
Uh-huh.
100%, or vice versa. But yeah, like if it's a 50-50 relationship, then it's it's half.
Mm-hmm.
It's not putting in your effort. It's meh. Like, okay, well, I did 50 of this, so
Mm-hmm.
but that's
So
it.
my
That's
work
all
is
I'm
done.
gonna. Yeah, that my work is done. It's up to you to do the rest, and it's not like that. You have to make sure that like everything is you as a a couple as a
Uh-huh.
marriage. You have to make sure that it comes to a whole 100%. And wherever I lacking something, a conversation needs to be had
Mm-hmm.
with my husband or with your wife, where you tell them, hey, you know what, honey, right now I'm not feeling
Feeling 100.
close. Exactly, I'm not feeling closer to 100. I need your
Mm-hmm.
percentage. I need your help
Uh-huh.
so that like we can come together
And
as
balance each
a
other.
100%. Exactly, and there be a balance. But if if it's always gonna be 50-50, it's gonna be a roommate situation where like, okay, well, roommate, I bought some food for myself. You have to fend for yourself now.
That's interesting. It's interesting that you framed it that way, because even as you're looking at that situation and you're going, okay, 50-50, it seems that the focus shifts from what you can do, what you can provide, what you can bring to the relationship, to going, what's the
Hmm.
other person doing? Are they doing their part? Are they bringing their 50? Just
Hmm.
like you said, you walk into a situation, hey, I'm only going to bring 50% of the meal you need to figure out for yourself. So you need to do. And so it doesn't give you that intimacy, that connection where we're supporting each other
Hmm.
through the
Hmm.
ups and downs that are going to be in our relationships, because not everyone's going to be able to bring 50 or even bring their 100 every time. Sometimes, like you said earlier,
Yep.
when you had that issue at work and you were stuck in your feelings, you were probably stuck in a salty mood because that happened. He could.
Oh, just to clarify,
No, not work.
it wasn't at work. It was just an example of
An
like,
example.
when I'm going through like difficult situations in like it
So you're
like
not
I
salty with your coworker. That's all
no
right.
no 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 no
So,
no. I love my coworkers.
but it's interesting that you said that, because when you're looking at that situation, right? Here you are, you're in an emotional state, wherever that is. You are in an emotional
Hmm.
state, and so your attention is diverted away from the relationship. If you're sad or angry, upset about something else that is outside, that means you're not thinking or feeling or looking at how you can bring joy to your husband, right? But in
Exactly.
that
Yeah.
moment, so it would, I guess, be equivalent to you're bringing zero at that moment,
Hmm.
and he had
Hmm.
to recognize that, and then go, how do I help her to
Yeah.
get away from zero? So how do I bring
Uh
back
huh.
peace? How do I help you to realign so that you can get out of that funk, and then you're able to get back? But if you was gonna go, hey,
Exactly.
you know what? You're not bringing anything right now. Deuces. Yeah, go work out. Go work out with your salty whoever you are upset with on your own. When you're ready to bring my 50 back, then we can have a conversation. That's even worse than
Yeah.
roommates. You're not even friends though.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like this is just at this point is just somebody that I used to know.
Just two persons existing.
Yeah, exactly. And like, it's it's very interesting that you put it that way because like um I never thought about it like that in the sense of like, when I'm going through whatever like these emotional like processes or challenges, like um he assists me in that way that like, you know what, I'm gonna help you. So that because when you're feeling at zero, I have that percentage to give on to you so that we can take it up a notch and make you feel better. But yeah, it's very important for you because you and your partner are now one. You're
Yes.
100 together. You make 100%. So you have to make sure that when one is lacking in something, like you assist, and it's vice versa. That's how a marriage works. you can't be selfish anymore. You have to be selfless. Yeah.
And so and you appreciate that, because being able to have him, knowing that he's there, he's got your back, so even when you're doing less than, it is useful to you, because he's not just helping you in the marriage, because yeah, you get back to 50 and then you're okay, but he's also helping you to work through external challenges. And that is the power of relationships, in that they don't just make you better for the relationship,
Yeah.
it's supposed to empower and strengthen you for the rest of the world.
Yeah, exactly. And there might be instances where, like, okay, your spouse doesn't really know how to handle the situation. That's okay, but as long as they have the initiative, okay, I really don't know how to, like, really give you the advice, but I'm gonna try, and that trying part is what makes it more special, more intimate, more like we are one. Even if you don't know how to handle the problem, instead of walking away, you're gonna at least try. Because I can't sit here and say that, what, my relationship is 100% like perfect. It's not. That's a lie. There's instances where, like, okay, I don't know how to handle situations, and when my husband comes to me and he's going through a difficult time, I don't know how to handle it. But, like, I'm not the type of person to say, well, okay, you gotta deal with it, like, I don't know. I'm honest with him. I tell him, you know what, this is actually very difficult. I really don't know what the answer is, but we can definitely look into it together.
So even though you don't know how to fix, solve, work through the problem, he still knows that you're there with him. He still knows that he has your support. Whatever the answer is, we don't have it, but at least he has you, and he can have that peace, that assurance, that
exactly.
But here's what you're saying. Here's what you just said, and it blew my mind. I'm saying, what did you just say? That Are you saying intent matters? Because sometimes as men, we may feel like, hey, you tried but you failed, and that's all that matters. You failed. You didn't do it. You didn't get it right. But you're saying intent matters.
Oh my, 100%. 100% it matters. It's not about the big wonderful things, sometimes it's about the small little things. And, like, I might have had a rough day at work, and my husband comes home earlier than me, so he has dinner cooked, and it's like, oh well, that has helped me. He hasn't helped me process, like, my emotions, but he has helped me feel like, okay, I don't have another task to do when I get home. I don't have to be overthinking about, the emotions that I'm going through. Like, this task is done because he put in the effort. The food might not have been the great, and I'm not saying that my husband's not a good cook, because he's actually really good. but for those guys out there that
he probably just picked up something
learning
from Burger King. It's not the greatest, it's not the best, but he helped you to not have to worry about this thing, because he knew you were going through something else.
Exactly. So intent 100% matters, and we see that as, wow, we see this as a thank you, Jesus moment.
So the rice doesn't have to be perfectly cooked. The situation doesn't have to be resolved perfectly, but knowing that he's there, he can see you.
Yeah.
And he is trying to help you, be there with you, is important to you. That connection is important. Okay. And on that note, we probably just have maybe another 10 minutes. I don't know if I want to jump into this part yet. It's been really great talking to you, right? And so the question that I guess that maybe leave with is this one. Do you think gender roles are still important in relationships?
I do think
and just to give you some context, I'm connecting it with what your friend said. You said your best friend said to you earlier, in that we're not supposed to be doing this, and connecting it to what you just said now, in that you're going to work, you're doing you're having a rough day at work, just for argument's sake, right? And now you have to come home and do something else, more tasks. And so if you're both going to work and working hard, having difficult days, how do you have the energy then to manage through those less than 50-50 situation where you just had a really rough day at work? You come home, your husband is having a 0 day,
Mm-hmm.
and now
Mm-hmm.
you need to muster up the energy to pour into him. How does that work?
Wow. Well, I think in situations like that, what I normally tend to do is like I try my best to minimize any task and just have that one-on-one time with him and God,
Mm-hmm.
because when we come together, both of us, and just focus our energy on God, like that's how we regenerate, and like doing these tasks. And I'm learning because I like my husband would say I'm a clean freak, and things like I might have a little bit of an OCD and things bug me, but like I'm starting to learn that sometimes these things are very minimal, and when he's not feeling 100, when I'm not feeling 100, well, let's just come together in our room, in our space. Let's try and make God our focus so that we can have that energy, because energy that we don't have is gonna be used in a or the little bit of energy that
Uh-huh.
we have is gonna be used for things that are not as important as each one of us.
So what I hear you saying, and it sounds brilliant, in that we do live in a world where men work, women work, and so we do have both may have challenging days, and so we do
Mm-hmm.
get home in a situation where we may have chaos. The important thing is not necessarily, as you said, to work through the chaos, but to be able to create that peace for each other.
Yep.
So at the very
Yep.
least we have a peaceful cocoon or shield
Yes.
that we can both hide in and rest and rejuvenate. It's not necessarily the time to go, the
Exactly.
food is not cooked, the tape, all of these things are not happening. It's to just kind of
Yeah.
go into that
Mm-hmm.
quiet place and find
Mm-hmm.
that peace, find that energy, so that we can stay connected. And it's really powerful and great if you have that source, that external power,
Yeah.
that God, that you can connect with, that helps you to work through that, because it sounds like it'd be really hard if you had to do all
Yeah.
this on your own.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's very important for you to have that, like, once you are in chaos, you have to be aware of, you know, okay, yes, I'm in chaos mode. Let me step out.
Mm.
Let us step out so that we can have that peace back. And then once we have gotten our peace, let's go deal with it. Because being adding more, going back into that chaos, it's just gonna be worse. It's gonna make the situation much worse. It's not gonna, and that's definitely something that like I working on,
Mm-hmm.
and like my husband, like he's really like great at like, letting me know, like just take a minute, or he's becoming more aware of when to say, when he sees that when I'm in those situations, he's like, "What do you need help in?
Mm-hmm.
What can I do?" And I appreciate that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Super awesome. It's been really great having this conversation with you, and I can see that you're actively working on finding that space, helping him to have the peace, help,
Yeah,
because you can already see that that's what he's doing to help you to have that peace, so that together you can both have peace in your home, and then empower yourself, strengthen yourselves to take on the world, take on tomorrow's tasks, tomorrow's
yeah,
activities, to be
yeah,
better at your job, better at whatever else is going on with you.
yeah. Hmm.
All right, super awesome. Any final thoughts before we jet out of here? It's been really great having a chat with you to be able to talk through some of these things. There's so much more that we can dig in, especially as a young
Thank
person
you. Yeah.
being married. Talking through what are some of the information or the feedback that you might have gotten from family, friends, or people out there, because for some reason
Mm-hmm.
marriage doesn't seem to be or to hold the status that it used to hold, and many times we look
Mm-hmm.
like we're planning an escape plan rather than drilling down and
Yeah, I mean, my personal opinion or my advice would be, like if you're planning or making this commitment and becoming one with one another, like definitely seek advice from people that are married, and I never like to say or judge, but in this context, like really look into like the married people and analyze and judge. Okay, let's see, these people have been married for this long, like really look and see, okay, well, I feel like I would probably get a good advice from this couple. Let me ask, and most definitely ask your pastor, counselor, like have that one-on-one conversation with these individuals and with your partner, with your spouse, to make sure that you're on a good path of setting boundaries and understanding each other prior to making that commitment, And like I said, you are not going to be the same person that you married going down these years with your spouse. You're going to evolve, you're going to change, and that's okay as long as you and your partner know that you're making these changes to better each other's life, and you respect each other and respect these boundaries, and um, always, always, always put God first.
nicely said, nicely said. I just want to address one thing that you said in there, and I know you're trying to be
Mm-hmm.
politically correct because hey, that's where we are in this world. But if you want to be a millionaire, you don't go ask the broke person down the street. You try to talk to other millionaires. So I know you said that you don't want to judge, but you want to make sure that you're getting information from the right source. You're looking at
Yeah.
people who
Mm-hmm.
have success in the areas that you want to have success in.
Yeah.
And so you don't just ask anyone. You don't go asking your single friends or your divorced friends or these
Yeah.
people who
Yep.
may be struggling with these situations to give you advice on how to be successful in your marriage. You do want to be selective in the persons that you
Yeah.
do reach out to get help, to
Exactly.
make sure
Yes.
that you're getting the right help that is pointing you towards success. Someone who may have pulled the ripcord may be inclined to tell you that that's what you need to do as well, and so that may not necessarily be the advice that you want to be able to go, all right, this is hard, but how do I work through it? How do I
Yeah.
get to the other side?
Exactly.
Because I'm
Yes.
in it to win it. I got married. You said the vows for better or for worse, for richer, for poor, until death do us part. And how do I commit to those vows to make sure that I'm honoring my commitment? And so, this is the wrecking trade. We say things just as it is, right? We want to be clear, want to be straight. And so again, Genesis, thank you for spending this time with us. Thank you for having this conversation. I'm sure
Thank
the
you.
viewers have really enjoyed you sharing your path, your journey, and the influences in your life that has helped you to take on this journey. You're saying your best friend has
Yeah.
been really awesome in terms of helping you on this journey, and being able to connect with God has been important to you. So we encourage persons
Yeah.
to reach out, to connect, talk to someone, the right people, and so you can align yourself with the place that you want to go. This has been the Wrecking Trade. Thank you again. Let me just wait. Here's this thing. Thank you. And so again, friends, it's important to recognize how wonderful it is to be able to have these conversations out in public, to have these conversations out loud, because many times we're talking about these things, and you know what, it feels like persons get triggered, as Genesis said, and that triggering leads them to going, oh, we're not having this conversation anymore, this is uncomfortable. For us to get to the place of safety, for us to get to the place of understanding each other, we need to work through uncomfortable situations so that we can recognize success on the other side. This has been the Wrecking Trade. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Give us a like button, hit the like button so that other persons may be able to find this content. If it is useful to you, feel free to leave a comment. So until next time, I'm your host, Robert Lynch. This has been The Wrecking. Welcome to The Wrecking Trade. This and every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. The radio show that provides a platform for a deeper understanding of issues affecting men in the Cayman Islands. Join us as we explore the low enrollment of men and boys in college classrooms, the absence of men in the church, and the absence of fathers in the home. Join the conversation as we help men find their place in the modern world. Through engaging interviews with experts and members of the community, we provide a clear picture of what healthy masculinity looks like as an example for boys and girls. Our mission is to provide a voice for men, to help them navigate the challenges that they face and provide hope for a brighter future. So tune in this and every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. and join the conversation on The Wrecking Trade. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of men and boys in the Cayman Islands. Brought to you by Oscore Fitness, strong inside, powerful outside, and the Bellagio Salon and Spa, where beauty is reimagined. Welcome to The Wrecking Trade, this and every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m., the radio show that provides a platform for a deeper understanding of issues affecting men in the Cayman Islands. Join us as we explore the low enrollment of men and boys in college classrooms, the absence of men in the church, and the absence of fathers in the